Welcome to the Clear to Send podcast, a podcast about wireless engineering, where we educate you on Wi-Fi technology, talk about design tips, troubleshooting, interviews, and the tools. Here are your hosts, Roel and Francois.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Clear to Send podcast. And this is going to be a special episode right before Cisco Live. So this goes published a day before. And we wanted to talk about what we're going to be doing at Cisco Live at this event, what sessions to check out, what's happening, Clear to Send specifically, because we're going to be doing some live recordings. And also, this is, Francois, your first time going, right? Good morning, Francois.
Yeah. Good morning, Roel. Yeah, it's going to be my first time attending. I'm pretty excited about it. So I'm looking forward to it very much.
Yeah, and this will be our second time actually getting together as as our co-host to this podcast. So that'll be great, and we'll be able to be at the podcast domain in the World of Solutions, which will be awesome. So we'll get to when we're going to be doing those recordings. But before that, we actually wanted to share out that we will be doing a Cisco Live contest. We're going to be giving away a couple of things for the Clear to Send listeners, new or old. We're going to, on this show notes page for Cisco Live, this is cleartosend.net/124. At the bottom of the page of the show notes, we're going to have a form that you could fill out. All you got to do is fill out the form, just takes a few seconds, and then leave a comment telling us what you think will be exciting at Cisco Live. And then from there, when you're at Cisco Live, all you got to do is take a picture of, or with me or Francois or the both of us for extra brownie points, and then just share it out on Twitter and tag Clear to Send on there with the CLUS tag, hashtag. And we'll raffle off two prizes. We're going to give away a Ventev mobile device accessory kit. Those things are valued at around $300, and they come with a variety of accessories. So what's really neat is there's going to be a battery charger in there for your phone. So you'll definitely need that for Cisco Live. There'll be some charging cables and a couple of other goodies for your mobile device. And a second winner, we will actually just purchase a Cisco Pressbook for you. And I will personally go to the store there at Cisco Live and pick out the book that you want, or you will pick out the book that you want, and I'll purchase it for you as a winner. What do you think about that contest, Francois?
That's very nice. That's a very nice contest. I feel like we're going to have a lot of pictures of you and I on Twitter during that week.
Yeah, so hopefully people can find us, and we will let you know where we will be at, because we will be doing some live recordings. We'll be at the podcast domain. And Francois, you haven't seen the podcast domain before. I think this is the second year that they are going to be doing this. And in the World of Solutions, there's actually a fishbowl, not a actual fishbowl, but a fishbowl where it's just an enclosed area that just has glass walls, so people can sit down. They schedule their interviews with people, and they have professionals that record your podcast for you, and you just talk with whomever you have there in the fishbowl. And people can come by and watch as well, because they have speakers and everyone can hear what you're talking about. But we'll be doing our podcast, our first one, our live recording on Monday, June 11th from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And the podcast domain is booth number 1059 in the World of Solutions. And our first topic is going to be Wi-Fi analytics with Christian Gayer. I don't know how to say his last name.
Gore. Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to talk about Wi-Fi analytics at Cisco Live. And that should be interesting, because we haven't really dove into things like location-based analytics. So this is not your, not a typical analytics type of episode. We're going to talk more about location-based analytics presence. So it's catered to a lot of what retail would probably look for in Wi-Fi, but it should be an interesting conversation. The second live recording that we have is going to be on Wednesday, June 13th at 4 p.m. And that's going to be on the topic of 5G with Mike Giller. So 5G is a new topic for us on the podcast, but we think it's important for you guys to understand what 5G is and how does it affect Wi-Fi. And I think that'll be, excuse me, an interesting conversation where what kind of technologies come to play with 5G, and does it complement Wi-Fi? Is Wi-Fi part of this, or is it something else? And then,
I'm looking forward to this one also. Maybe we can try to better understand how this will impact our, day-to-day job in maybe, the few years coming up. And I'm interested about the 5G subject. Since we didn't talk much about 5G on the podcast yet, maybe this can be just a introduction into what 5G is. Talk with Mike about it, how he sees things, and by the way, if you guys have any questions you would like us to ask those guests, don't hesitate to tweet it at ClearToSend on Twitter, and then we'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, we'll definitely share out your questions or ask them in this live recording. Or if you're going to be there, you can probably ask it yourself during the live recording and be there in person. Now, the other meetup this live recording that we just decided to do, I guess, Francois, is this Cisco Live Wi-Fi meetup, which is going to be at the Marriott World Center, and that's not on the. It's not on the. What do you call it, like the expo floor or anything. And this is on June 12th. This is actually a Cisco Live Wi-Fi meetup, and it's happening between 6:30 and 8:30. Now, we won't be doing a live recording during the whole time. We're just actually going to be there to meet up because this is being hosted by Active Expert. And is it also Wi-Fi training?
Yeah, Active Expert is a mother company for Wi-Fi training. So it's organized by Chris Evans and his team, and he just wants to gather a whole bunch of Wi-Fi guys for the evening and just talk about Wi-Fi. He also has a laser light show organized for us, and it's going to be at the Marriott World Center Hotel, so it's going to be offsite. And we're just attending with other Wi-Fi guys that works with Wi-Fi training, like George Stefanik or Rasika and Chris Evans, obviously. And so Chris just threw out the idea of us recording during the event, and I think it could be a good idea to have those guys on the podcast and maybe other Wi-Fi guys attending. So we're not too sure how this is going to play out exactly, but we'll figure something out and try to do a recording over there.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting to have a bunch of people coming for an event while we're doing a live recording, so we can get in a lot of different people to discuss about a variety of topics. It'll almost be like a roundtable, but except people will be coming and going. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. And if you can make it, we'll link to the RSVP page because you should RSVP for this, and we'll see you guys there. So there's going to be something different that you and I want to do, Francois. A lot of us know us for this podcast that we do, but not a lot of people know that, for one, I do a lot of photography outside of the technical world. That's kind of my hobby and passion outside of doing Wi-Fi and networking. And then you also wanted to do this fun little project where you interview people, some brief questions to get to know them better, a little bit more of their personal side, get a little bit more intimate. So what we did is combine these two ideas of photography and these these brief interviews into the side project that we are going to plan on doing during Cisco Live, which is I take portraits of people, and I plan on doing these black and white photos, a portrait of somebody, and then we will combine the questions and responses that you record of them, and we will put that into kind of a profile of someone. Let's say I was taking a photo of you, Francois, and then asked you questions. We can just post that online just so people can get to know other people better that are in our industry versus just talking about Wi-Fi all the time. Is that right, Francois?
Yeah, it sounds very good. And then so the questions would be like very short question, short answer type of things. It's not aimed to last a long time. It's aimed to be a short profile. So yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. As long as you guys participate, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking at we're excited about it, and hopefully people participate and then come and see us to do it.
Yeah, I think it'll be very fun to do, to get to know people more better outside of Twitter, for example. We want to know what you're passionate about outside of Wi-Fi. Maybe other hobbies you like to pursue that's interesting, or maybe try to get other people to, or find other people that is also in this, have the same interests. And then on top of that, you get a headshot out of it. I'll be taking some photos. I'll be bringing my camera along with me. And we'll be sharing those online. So if you're okay with us sharing your photo and your interview questions, it's less than 5 minutes for this whole thing is what we're aiming for. So let us know if you really want to participate in this, and we'll try to schedule something out. But other than that, we'll be walking around Cisco Live and just kind of doing it ad hoc and randomly, right?
Yeah, and I downloaded the Cisco Live application on my phone, and they have this option where you can share your location.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works exactly, but I've allowed the application to share my location. So I guess you can find me through the application.
Yeah, that's a interesting thing you bring up, because the first Cisco Live I attended, this is probably my third Cisco Live now. And the first 2 times were in Vegas. So I'm glad, for one, it's not in Vegas again, because I'm tired of Vegas. But the first time, they really put in a lot of access points. In the first Cisco Live that I attended, there was a lot of tripods with external antennas. They were using, I think, 3702s or 3802s. I can't remember. But at that point time, I haven't used the app that well, but maybe I will download it as well and try to figure out how this location stuff works. Maybe there's some wayfinding in there, but I think it's one way for us to connect and actually find each other, because I will tell you, Francois, this is your first time attending. I think last year there was almost 30,000 attendees at Cisco Live.
Wow.
So
okay,
there is a lot of people. It is an event where you will be overwhelmed with information and the amount of conversations that you're going to have. The sessions are really great. They're good. They're also recorded, so anyone can actually see these recordings. And if you sign up on ciscolive.com, you can sign up for free. You could watch the previous recordings as well. And then when Cisco uploads this year's Cisco Live videos, you will be able to see those recordings. So you don't have to attend to see the sessions. They will record these, but it is a lot of information that you're going to take in. At the end of the day, you're going to be tired, but if you hang in there after a day's worth of sessions, the best conversations are going to be outside of those sessions. It's going to be those tabletop discussions you're going to have with people. It's going to be over drinks with a couple of other people, or maybe during one of the meetups that's happening. There's going to be a lot of Cisco champion meetups. So there's going to be a lot of time that you can have to interact with so many different people in different verticals. So outside of just wireless, I remember having a conversation with a guy who was in security, and he was managing a team that I guess went down to the deep dark web and tried to find things that hackers were doing. It was just kind of interesting conversation that we were having over drinks, but yeah, those are the kind of things you look forward to.
Yeah, I'm excited to that as well. I'm excited meeting other people. That's why I'm going over there too, right? To attend the sessions and meet other people. And I'm fortunate enough to be part of the Cisco Champions program as well. And then they gave us some slots for the podcast to record podcasts with Cisco guys. So I think it's going to be a great event for us.
Yeah, I mean, are you looking forward to anything outside of sessions and meeting people? Is there something that you're trying to get out of Cisco Live specifically?
I think I want to focus on that, and also working on the podcast as well, just to try to share as much as what we experience with the audience. Like working for myself, I'm not being sponsored or anything to go to the event. So I purchased my ticket just like any other attendee, I guess.
Yeah.
So I just want to try to get the best out of it, and try to enjoy every moment. So
Yeah, because you work for yourself, I find that a little bit more difficult, right? Because you had to decide, is Cisco Live going to be worth it for me, right? Because you're paying this out of your own money. You got to pay for your own flight, and you got to go get yourself a hotel. And a lot of other people, they have their employer that'll pay for this, right? The challenge they have is trying to sell this event to their employer, and then their employer pays for the whole thing. And then they even get a per diem, so they get some money from their company to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But you got to pay it all out of pocket on your own. So that's going to be a big investment on your side.
Yeah, and plus that's a week where you're not generating revenue, right, for the business. So you have to think about that, and then see if it's worth it to go. So I don't know. I just thought about it, and I think it would be a good event. This year I attended only one conference in Phoenix, WLPC. So and then because we had the Cisco Champion program, the podcast, and everything, I think it could be. I decided it would be a good idea to go this year. So and then hopefully I get to meet interesting people that I can maybe get business from later on.
Yeah, exactly. You might be able to
we'll see how it goes,
where you can generate some business. I mean, you're going to meet people from all over the country. Some people fly in from different parts of the world just to attend the U.S. Cisco Live. I know Cisco puts on different Cisco Live events across the world, but a lot of people come to this event. So I think you might be able to make a deal or two. Being that you have your own business, you just got to meet the right people and make those contacts.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm looking forward to meeting people from Canada as well, that I haven't met yet. And I know a couple of guys from Canada are going to the event, but I might meet other people that I haven't never met before, interested in getting some Wi-Fi expertise and things like that. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. All right. Well, we want to talk about some of the sessions that we're interested in attending during Cisco Live. Just in case you're attending, you're not sure what sessions you want to go to, or if you want to keep track of some sessions in the future after the event and you want to watch the recording. Now, some of these that we're attending may not be recorded. It just turns out sometimes they don't record these events, or some of the sessions, especially if it's like a DevNet session. I don't think they typically record those sessions unless it's one of the major DevNet sessions. So I guess I'll take a stab at the sessions that I'm gonna check out. The first one, I have them I think down to the day, which day and time I'm going. So one of the first events that I'm gonna be attending is the Meraki Network Programmability and Python Automation with Dashboard API. So this is just going to be about people who use Cisco Meraki and the dashboard, and how you can use that API to automate a lot of the different tasks that you can do, such as creating an Amazon skill to control Meraki devices. Or if you have a site that you're deploying, you can automate how the field technician can deploy those devices, or if they're not even registered in your dashboard, they can register them using a Python script that you create and a little form that they fill out. So I've attended something very similar to this at DevNet Create. So hopefully this one's a little bit different in that I will learn something new And because I'm also taking some Python training, I'm actually just training myself using a couple of books and just some lab stuff. So that'll be an interesting thing for me to start taking DevNet sessions. I took maybe one or two last year and thought it was really educational and insightful because you're sitting there and you could actually participate in this lab that they're doing. So it's a lot of hands-on learning. The next session is going to be securely designing your wireless LAN for threat mitigation, policy, and BYOD. Now, before I go into this one, I am going to put out the breakout codes so you can search for these on the Cisco Live site. But going back to the session, I think security is one of those topics that isn't talked about very often when it comes to anything in networking, but specifically wireless, because what most people think about with security and wireless is what? Your pre-shared key, right, Francois?
Yeah, WPA, pre-shared key, 802.1x authentication.
And it's a lot more than that, really, right? So you got your network segmentation. I mean, there's also firewalls involved, but this is going to talk about software-defined access. So that's fairly new in the Cisco world. So that has to do with VLANs, VRFs, TrustSec, but more specifically towards wireless networks. And the things that you learn in this session is going to be encryption, more on 802.1x, guest access, identity services, and how you would onboard different BYOD devices, laptops, tablets, smartphones, even IoT devices, and also role-based access as well. So that's going to be something interesting to me as we try to secure our wireless networks, because that's going to be the easiest way a hacker gets into your network because of wireless signal propagating everywhere. Now, the next session is going to be DNA wireless assurance, isolate problems for faster troubleshooting. So DNA is another new topic for Cisco, and I think they're doubling down on this. They really want to use DNA for all of their, their whole portfolio, right? And I'm not completely sold on DNA, so I want to see what they have, what's new, what has been improved since last year, because I still don't really know how DNA works. And I think this year I'm going to find out what they've done to really push this product forward, because it's being pushed hard. And so we're talking about DNA center assurance. There's real-time Wi-Fi analytics, whereas previously we weren't getting some real-time data. So you'll get things like anomaly detection. You'll automate some network forensics and get more into root cause analysis. So I want to see what Cisco has done that's better than what's already out there, but when it comes to DNA assurance. Another topic that I'm going to take a look at is going to be high density, high capacity network design with Cisco Meraki Wireless. And this one I'm pretty interested in because when I attended the Wi-Fi Now conference, they were using Meraki Wireless, and they had quite a few people there. I would say about over 200 people. And I did notice or witness and experience that network reaching high density and high capacity. And so I want to see what Meraki is doing to meet these requirements, and if they're the right solution when it comes to high capacity and high density.
Was it working well at Wi-Fi
In the
Now?
beginning, it wasn't. I was able to do a capture, and I noticed that the Meraki AP was not accepting any more associations. And then when I dug deeper into the documentation, I noticed that Meraki allows a max of, I think, 128 devices or associations on per radio. So to me, if you're going to do high density and high capacity, maybe allow more than that.
Well, sometimes they limit the number of associated devices, so you perform kind of a load balancing in between your APs.
Yeah, except I wasn't being load balanced to another AP.
Yeah.
I want to see how Meraki is gonna improve that, and basically how's their solution gonna be better than say your Aeronet solution. So that's kind of I mean, high density and high capacity has been beat around for quite a while now, but this one's just specific to Meraki. Now, going back into kind of the DevNet type of things, I'm going to attend a session called Enhancing Network Operations Through Automation and Workflow. Now, this isn't specifically wireless focused. This is more on the infrastructure side because infrastructure is still important for a wireless network. And when you have to deploy wireless quickly, you're using probably the same infrastructure as your wired side. So you want to try to automate a lot of that, automate a lot of operations and create workflows around that. So you have some sort of predictability when it comes to automating different parts of your network. So I want to see what should I be looking forward to as I try to learn more about Python and scripting and all that. So this is going to be much newer for me. So I'll probably get a lot out of this type of session because it's all going to be new to me, especially around the tools that they're using to create some of these workflows. So I'm looking forward to that. And especially when it comes to automation, where if you have a problem, can that problem be automated to a resolution? The next session is Get Greater Wireless Value with Cisco Indoor Location Services. And this I'm very interested in because I'm doing a pilot project at work where I'm using Cisco CMX, using location-based services and presence. So I want to see how others are using Cisco CMX and CMX's connected mobile experiences. And basically that's using a lot of like Bluetooth beacons and your RSSI off of your device to see how you can drive some insights for people. It might not be for the technical team, but it could be for other people in your organization, which will help drive different business decisions. So this is also very new to me. I have just started playing with Cisco CMX. It's pretty interesting. And so hopefully in the future, we will have some topics on the show about Cisco CMX and more about indoor location services, in addition to the live recording that we're doing. The next session is APIs for automating network element deployment. So again, more DevNet type of sessions here, looking to deploy things faster through automation. And I know it can be done. I've seen a lot of different examples, and I know that there's people out there doing it. So that'll be interesting to see if, let's say, you all of a sudden have 100 sites that you need to deploy. Like you work for a retail company and they're saying, yeah, we're going to roll out 100 different stores and we're going to use Cisco Meraki or some other Cisco Aeronet, and you need to automate that because you have a lean team and you need to do it quickly, right? How do you do that? So there's different ways you can do that. It's a DevNet session. It's in the DevNet zone. And if you haven't been to the DevNet zone, Francois, I think you should check out the DevNet zone. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it's a different type of crowd too. So you have your network engineers, and then you have I guess what you call like DevOps or net DevOps people who are kind of a hybrid engineer where they know networking and they also know how to program and script things and create more efficient workflows, or even create dashboards, custom dashboards that you don't get out of the box with some of these products. So that'll be an interesting section to check out. DevNet Zone has its own section of the world of solutions, so that'll be a good one to check out. I have two more sessions here. Connected mobile experience. I already touched upon CMX. This one's just more of a deep dive into CMX, how to use it, how to deploy it, kind of the best practices and design around it. And then my last session that I have on my calendar, assuming I get to all of these sessions, it's going to be design and deployment of outdoor wireless networks. Now we are deploying more outdoor at my workplace. It's actually been a big request for the last couple of years, but often a difficult one to tackle because you do need to bring some sort of infrastructure to these access points that's outdoors. And usually that means like trenching, to run cabling and power, because I don't want to do mesh. But yeah, this talks about outdoor wireless networks, and it'll go into mesh.
Yeah, and it's a perfect segue because this is the only session we have in common,
Yeah.
actually.
So you and I will see each other during the week at this session here, which is probably on Thursday.
Yeah, so I I registered for the sessions, I think a little late because most of them were already full. And my focus was more on mobility, so anything wireless related, and 5G. So that's a two keywords I've used to filter out the sessions. Because when you choose a session for Cisco Live, I didn't know that, but it's overwhelming. They have like, I don't know how many sessions they have, but it's like hundreds. So I used 5G and mobility to filter out the sessions, and I have a different set of sessions. One I'm excited about is it's called Defining Your 5G Architecture. And it's going to be happening on Monday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. So I'm looking forward to this one. It's more going to be focusing on the 5G side of things, the different 3GPP technologies and such. So I'm looking forward to this one. And maybe this session will bring some questions for the podcast we'll have later on. And the second one is a smart end-to-end network and application performance troubleshooting with Meraki. So maybe this is going to be related to some of the sessions you're going to attend, Roel. Troubleshooting with Meraki. I haven't used Meraki too much, but I'm very interested in the solution. So I'm excited about this one too, and learn a little bit more what you can do with it. The next one will be another 5G session. It's called Deploying Fixed Wireless Access Using 5G Technology. So I'm interested to know what 5G technology means there, because we know there's multiple wireless technologies that can be used for 5G. So we'll see. They'll probably be talking about LTE in this session.
There's going to be a lot of millimeter wave in this discussion as well, because they'll talk about 10 gig throughput capacity, and that's usually done with millimeter wave.
And talk about front haul, back haul. And 5G comes from the cellular side, and it brings a whole bunch of new vocabulary to us, and I'm sure a whole bunch of new acronyms, right? And another session I'll be attending is the Cisco SD Access Wireless Integration. So software-defined access wireless integration. I have no idea what that means, so looking forward to this one. They're talking about DNS Center and all of that, so it sounds like more what's going to happen in the future. So with IoT and those type of devices, so this one will be happening on Tuesday morning. And then I have a couple of sessions from well-known engineers from Cisco. So the first one is the Understanding RF Fundamentals and the Radio Design for AC Wireless Networks from Frederick Niehaus. So we had him on the show earlier this year to talk about the sensor they came out with. So he's just going to be presenting the RF side of things. And then I have the session from Jerome Henry, optimize your WLANs for iPhones and iPads and welcome other mobile devices too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to those sessions. I've heard a lot about those sessions on Twitter.
Yeah, those are two good sessions. I've attended both. I've attended both of their sessions and met them personally. So you'll be learning quite a bit out of just those two.
Yeah, which is pretty nice. I'm excited about that. And then the last one I have in there, it's a performance monitoring on AirOS controllers and APs. So I'm doing some, just like you, Roel, I'm trying to do a little bit more Python work, introduce Python into my workflow, and I'm actually trying to work with the AirOS and trying to interact with the AirOS controller using Python. So I'm interested into that session. Maybe I can get some ideas and some little labs I can do on my own out of this session. So I didn't overwhelm my calendar with a whole bunch of sessions. I selected the sessions I really wanted to attend, and then I kept some free time to meet people, to do the podcasting things. And we also have a couple of Cisco Champions events that I have in my calendar, planning on attending. So
there's a lot of
at
events.
the end of the day, I think it's going to be
a lot of events and meetups during the week and even during session time. So that's I like your realistic approach. I went for the overreaching approach, which is I'm just going to schedule them, and if I can attend it, that's awesome. So a lot of times I don't end up attending the sessions that I want to go to, but I just keep them in my calendar because I don't know if you noticed this, Francois, on the CiscoLive.com site, you could download the calendar, like the iCal, and then import that into your Outlook. So that way you have the session name, the location, and the time. That way you get those notifications what session is coming up next. But you can probably see that through the mobile app anyways. If you log into the mobile app, it'll have your schedule there as well.
Yeah, the mobile app have the schedule. It's not I don't know. They didn't do the best job possible for the schedule because it's like a list schedule. You cannot see, your week, or at least I didn't find it. So what I did, I imported it into my Google Cal, and then I just use that as a reference.
Cool. One of the things
I did the other events. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I think, and in Google Calendar, I could add the other podcast recordings and the Cisco Champions events and everything.
Yeah, so we'll highlight again those events because I think you guys should attend those. But I did want to mention there's one thing that I didn't see in the session list was anything on 802.11ax. So it looks like they're not going to touch upon that in a deep dive at all. Whereas because we hear that coming from other vendors, but it looks like Cisco's going to wait this one out until it's probably finalized.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So
I didn't even, that's a good catch.
But they will talk about the new AP 4800, which is probably not going to be an AX AP. So we'll see what is actually new with that AP. Besides, it's a bigger AP and it probably has the Bluetooth beacons or Bluetooth radios built in for hyperlocation module. I think they built that into the AP, but we'll actually talk about or we'll hear about that at this event. So that's kind of the gist of what we have planned for Cisco Live. Our calendars are actually really packed with a lot of events. But you guys can find us at the podcast domain. Again, we're going to do 2 live recordings, one on Monday at 1 p.m. and one on Wednesday at 4 p.m. And we'd like to invite you guys to come check it out as we do this live recording. We'll also be doing another live recording at the Wi-Fi training event. Again, we'll have the link to RSVP in the show notes. Go to clearascend.net/124. And we look forward to seeing you guys there. There's going to be a lot of great people at that event. And then we'll be doing our little side project, a little creative project, if you will. Something not so technical, but we'll incorporate some photography and audio into this project that we can post up on the site. And I'll probably use my Instagram page as well to post up some of these portraits. If you guys are okay with doing that, just let us know. And we look forward to meeting you guys there. Anything else you want to share with everyone, Francois?
Just don't forget our contest. If you're interested, just go in the show notes and at the bottom of the page you can sign up and start the contest.
Awesome. Well, we want to thank you guys for listening to this episode. We hope you're going to attend Cisco Live in Orlando. And if you are, let us know on social media. Hit us up on email or in the comments. Let us know where you'll be, and we'll also let you know how you can reach us so we can meet you guys. But we want to thank you guys for listening to this episode, and we'll see you next week and also on the next episode. Thanks, guys.
See you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.